Um, I only saw a few on that list of upgrades and PT changes that I'm following. I posted it on my Twitter, and we'll share that here in a minute. A lot of them are big names. Um, okay. But if you have the account size, you can totally enter those. But talking about Twillo, Crowd, so those are really good names that on the weekly did look like we're breakout. So um, hey trader, I'm going to post a link here for the YouTube live stream.
Okay.
I'll just put it. I just put it in the public chat. Okay. All right. So what a great bounce on SPY. It's very interesting because I'm seeing a lot of flow for IWM puts. Most of them are for August. So there's definitely some bearish sentiment out there. But it's it's a couple of months out. But that could come any minute. But it could be that flow that I saw for the IWM. Oops. That was a couple of days ago. They could be out already of their trade. Right here, they could have closed their positions. I saw those puts around here, so we could be done with all the bearish sentiment, but who knows? I have this Fibonacci retracement. It bounced at the 61.8. I'm looking for it to break this 421, 422 level, and find some strong support before we can continue to 426. So we could see a range between 121, 421, 423. That's what my prediction today, based on having when you have a big rally like that, at least they're in pre-market. The market needs to take a breather. So we might see that. So don't rush on plays unless there's a lot of momentum. But I do have a couple names that I want to share with y'all, and then and yeah, if you guys have any other names that you want us to look at, please let me know. Okay, so first one is HD break, and have this nice trend line. As with anything, just because it breaks, we're not going to enter. So I think what we're going to be looking for here is it needs to find some support. It needs to find a strong place to keep going. So in this case, it needs to find support right here. What I've seen is it breaks this trend line, and then it will come and retest this trend line again before continuing further. So I'm watching for a support at 304. So that's my first the first ticker that I'm watching, a break over 308.88. You can even just make it 309 just to be a little bit it's useful to make it whole numbers. It doesn't, levels are not exact. Just an idea that the reason why I pick that level is I tend to pick the previous day's high of day as my entry point. You can use the pre-market high, but that's typically what I use. Same thing that's for calls, and for puts, same thing. If I want to do puts, I use the yesterday's low day or the pre-market low as my entry. So here's HD. BA Oscar in our chat he's our BA man. What a great day BA had today. So we could see a continuation. If we do see a continuation of this trend, I anticipate the BA to reject at this level right here. Somewhere here, so it could continue further and reject at this 249, 250. I saw a lot of calls for the 250. Yep, I see the 250. So there's definitely some momentum, but it needs to. You can still hear on the TTM squeeze. It needs to pull back a little bit, find some support, possibly around this level, 242, 243, before it continues further. But 245, 246 will be my entry for me in terms of calls. And with the PT, we be in this one. I have a mark PT1 as 248, 249. So a 240, a 250 call will not be um, a bad one to do. I would buy, maybe get the next week's 250, but look at your grease to make sure that you're comfortable with that. Then I have let's see, CCIV. Trying to remember what I saw in this one. Yeah, I think it was just another break out of the trend. It's just consolidating. I think it was squeezing on the 4 hour, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's just been consolidating for quite some time, quite a range, and so it's primed to make a big move soon. I don't necessarily like this formation, but what I do like is the volume is drying out. I tend to see a lot of big moves right after volume starts to die down. That's when the big volume comes in, and so I'll be watching for these EMAs to cross to the upside for a big move. I think this is a little bit too high, so we can move it to about here. So that's going to be my entry, 24.32, and my PT, my first target will be this level right here. So 27.28. So, and we have, hopefully, okay. Tilray, they had some news on their bill. There's some didn't really do much. I think the wheat sector, it's going to take a little bit to take off, but it's definitely one to watch. I mean, that's the same with CGC. I believe Tilray just merged with AFA, or maybe with CGC. To be honest, I don't follow the wheat stocks as much. Maybe some of y'all know a little bit more about that merge with AFA or APHA. So there's that I'm watching. I have a 17.5 call for next week. So we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of activity on this ticker name, O. There's a lot of option calls for the 70 call for these are monthlies. So there is an insane amount of calls for the 716 70 strike. So we might see a movement. I'm not getting in yet. I like to see it show some. But look at the volume. That's pretty good, and we're about to come out of this oversold zone and make a move. So a move to 70 is definitely not out of the question. Something right here. So definitely be watching for that. It doesn't move very much, so definitely if you can get something closer to the money, that'll be even ideal. So here's Beyond. Beyond's been ranging for the past couple of days, not weeks. Give me 1 second. Oh, hey, it's John. Sorry, sorry, John. It took me a while to accept you there, but welcome. So here's Beyond. As some of y'all know, Beyond has been used to be. It was a runner a couple of days ago, and I think it's getting ready. It's finally taking breather. I have this rectangle where it's ranging, and so let's see if I can cancel one of these so we can see. Yeah. A breakout of 149 will be a good entry, but it could reject at this 156. So be careful. When you see a range like this, there are times that I enter when it's starting to show some strength, but I know that there's a possibility that it could reject at this level at the top. And so be careful of that. Some people like to just wait until it breaks this range and then come back down, find support before it can continue any further. So there's several strategies. It really depends on your risk profile. So that's definitely one to watch beyond. And then the next two are ones that are more, I mean, this is a beautiful trend. I mean, if you cannot see a potential breakout, you need to take our class, but I think all of you here have taken the class or have enough knowledge to identify that this is a really nice setup. You have a couple of levels here, a couple of levels of resistance, but the main one is right here, it's 247. It could be a double bottom, it could be a cup and handle on the weekly, whatever you want to call it. But it's ready to rip. This one's actually upgraded. Crowd was upgraded with a PT of 300. So we got about $50 move. Now, whenever there's an upgrade by an analyst, don't expect that PT to reach next day after they announce it. These guys are talking about days, weeks, and sometimes months. And so, but it does create a sense of urgency, and it does start a momentum. And so we want to be able to identify that momentum and catch that move. And so the contract's a little bit more expensive, as expected with the stock price a little bit that high. But if it looks like there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of momentum, you can certainly get something that's a little bit out of the money. If it's at 237, I mean, you can get something that's at 250 or a bit further. But just know that as soon as the momentum dies, your contract will start to decrease rapidly. And so if you're going to get something out of money on big tickers like that, get in as soon as you're in green. As long as there's the momentum doesn't keep going, go ahead and take your profits. So you can certainly trade these names with relatively expensive contract. The next one is TWLO, another one that was upgraded this morning. Again, this is the weekly. Remember, we're talking weekly. We're talking about swings, right? If you remember in the class, if you're looking at day trade, you'd be looking more on the daily chart. I'm gonna look at here at the weekly. There is I could see a big move to 450 to test this level, but there's a couple of stops that it needs to make before getting there, right? It needs to break this 400. As you saw, it's at this resistance, and then it can move to 457, 461. Okay, so this is the weekly. So this is going to be more of a swing. If you are willing to wait, you can certainly. This is also upgraded with a PT of 430, 424. So it's not as high, but it could definitely be a good swing if you're willing to wait a little bit. But I would still, because it's already expensive. If you're going to do a swing for 2 to 3 weeks for the out of the money, it's going to get even more expensive. So you can certainly do that, but you need to make sure that it has completely broken out of this range, or this formation, found support, and then continue further. Those are all the names that I'm watching today. It's a combination of formation breakouts, momentum, option interest, and volume in terms of volume, and then also some upgrades. Also Wish, if you guys have heard of me yapping about Wish in the chat, been a great trade. I have equity and some options as well. So it's definitely going to take a breather. Probably today it's going to come down before continuing further. So I'll be taking some profits. I already took some profits here. Took some contracts off. I have one left, 12.5 call for 716. So we have some time, but There's a lot of option, a lot of volume for the 13.5 calls, and also for the 20 strike. So I anticipate if this continues to go further, that's going to be our big resistance level. So if you're going to get in on Wish, I would wait a little bit. The IV it's starting to go up. I will wait until we find some support, ideally right here on the 12 before continuing any further. So, all right, Trader, you got anything for me? Unless if you guys have a ticker that you guys want to talk about that you've been watching, we can certainly go over that as well. But I'm gonna give the time to Trader so she can share some of the things that she's watching.
Yeah, I'm not watching a lot of stuff because we actually have a few Feds speaking today, which I'm not really too concerned about because they're really nice ladies. So let's see, we have Loretta Master and Mary Daly, and I'm not too concerned about them. Number one, because they're always very positive about their feedback regarding the economy, and they're going to also be talking about climate risk. So I don't think that's gonna, create any volatility within the markets, but we'll see. We're already starting to pull back, but we also have Powell. He's going to testify today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what exactly he's going to talk about, but it's pretty much going to be the same thing that he says all the time. But we'll still see some volatility today. And we already started pulling back. So we're currently in this little price range right here. Right here. So I'm actually looking to get puts right here under 420.12. I mean, we're not going to see a really big move. I really think we're going to hit maybe 419, maybe even for, this support level that I have here at 418.74. Or we could just stay in this area. But definitely not going to, look into calls unless we break 421.72. Okay, because anything here in between is just chop. But this is really, a key level that I'm looking at if it breaks to get some puts. As you can see, we're already pulling back. The NASDAQ is pulling back also, which had a really nice run. Doesn't mean we're bearish though. We're just losing momentum, for right now. I don't think we're gonna see like a lot of movement. If anything, we might see some, some puts in the morning at open, and then maybe see some reversals into lunchtime. But I'm not really gonna be looking at anything heavy because, of the calendar that we have. But I did notice Facebook. I really like Facebook here, above 330. And if that doesn't break, then I'll definitely start looking for puts around probably this level. And then we had earnings this morning on Plug. Let's see how they did. Nothing yet, but it looks like we're pulling back. So we can go ahead and grab some puts under this level at 29.48. I think even if they hit or miss, I don't think you should take that into account. Just follow the chart. It'll tell you where it's going. We tried to break 31.40. We couldn't do that. We had a huge rejection here at the top. So definitely this looks like, something that we can grab puts on. And I think I saw some heavy flow the other day. And the tan sector, the solar sector is pulling back, which I was, watching for the past few weeks. But it's still good. It's still in a good buy zone, but I'm not definitely going to buy anything yet. I'm just looking at, at this sector here. We're still consolidating a little bit. And I think we're just going to pull back under this level, under 81.30.
Come on, T.
And of course,
Come on.
our EVs are pulling back. We had them pull back. Workhorse definitely, looking a little bearish here under 1430. And then I was actually looking at NIO, but NIO, I believe, is also pulling back. Let's see here. Yeah. NIO is actually up in rotation again, but I think it's just, it's just resting because we had, these impulsive moves here. And we couldn't break over this this zone here that I had highlighted. And it's pretty much, been respecting this little trend line that I have here, or this the supply zone. So let me extend that. And there we go. So we're riding under the supply zone. So we're going to see this sell off a little more here under 45. If we hold that, we can grab some puts. But definitely we need to break at least 46.50 or even like 47.50 to take some calls. Definitely something to watch for. I was talking about Tesla yesterday. But you know what? I think I saw it sell off at the end of the day. And it pulled back just a little bit, not that much. It's still in a really good zone here. I'm still watching it over 630, 631 area right here, which means that we could have a really explosive breakout if we have some volume. But you know what? I don't think we might get it today. But you know what? I'm still going to set an alert and we'll see if we break out and if we have volume. And let's see, oil was setting up yesterday for a run. It made a really small run, but we pulled back. But it looks like it's holding up really well. And I'll be watching the energy sector today because it really does really well when we have a bearish market or a market that's a little uncertain. So you can always see these value stocks, be a little volatile and perform well when the market is red or when we're in, in consolidation mode. So I'll be watching XLE, and I noticed that copper was also trying to make a move to the upside. And it's just consolidating, but you know what? I'm watching it here over this level. I'll be watching FCX. FCX still hasn't made any moves. Steel. Let's see. Steel looks like it's ready to break out here over this level at 24. And CLF. Is anything on your guys' watch list that you guys want me to look out for?
Hey Trader, I just saw some news come in about Fubo.
Fubo?
It's being added to the Russell 3000.
Oh yes, you know what?
So,
I was going to mention that. Is it
No,
being added today?
I'm not sure when. I believe it just says that to be added. So, but it's that formation right there. I mean, we that level that you have right there, 30 to 30.
Yeah.
That's a level that I'm watching, and so we could see a big move, or we can see buy the rumor, sell the moves kind of thing. And so, regardless, it's news that may trigger some levels. So we'll see.
Yeah. We have the supply zone though right here. I need to break that. Yeah, it needs to break this level here so we can take some calls. I think FSR was also being added to the Russell.
Okay.
But it didn't really move much.
I mean, there are other 2,999 tickers, so it may not be big of a deal. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the Russell isn't huge, but I mean, I guess it's huge for Fubo because they're fairly new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and FSR, I mean, it's just, we have this little triangle here going on. So we need to break it. We need a little more volume. But it really didn't do much when they announced it was gonna, be added to the Russell. But I think EVs are gonna take a little, they're taking a little break. So I think we're not going to see anything from them at least for this week. But what I noticed yesterday was moving was MGM. And it's been like in this area here between 41 and 44. But we're gapping down. We gapped down this morning. So we could probably see a little gap fill to the upside. And I like to trade MGM. The contracts are fairly decent. It's a little low risk. So it doesn't move that much, but you could definitely make some profit here. So I'll be looking at it here above 42. If not, we'll grab some puts here under 41.60. And then I believe Disney was also a little oversold. And here we are. You could probably see a little movement here above 174.30. Just keep in mind though that Disney doesn't move a lot, so don't expect a huge move. It doesn't make doesn't create a lot of volume and stuff like that. So if you guys are going to trade it, make sure you trade it pretty fast because it has a tendency to just pull back like really fast. Like look at all these fake outs. They try to break over resistance here and it just sold off. And then we had all this chop yesterday, which doesn't really look good. But definitely can have see a small little move to the upside, maybe down up here to 175.30, and then call it a day, which is our 200 moving average, and then see a pullback from there. Okay, so don't bag hold because it's not a really good idea.
I was just going to make a quick reminder, that we share all these names and a lot of these tickers, they're in our personal watch list. And these are names that we're familiar with how they move. And so we're strongly suggest that you create your own watch list of tickers that you are either, I would say you're getting to know, right? And think of it as dating. You don't want to marry a ticker. You want to date. You want to speed date. You want to get to know how they react to certain things. And so take, out of the names that we're showing here, and you take a couple and don't get in yet if you don't feel comfortable until you know how to move. For example, Disney with all those long wicks, that's a lot of uncertainty to the upside and downside. And so you don't want to get faked out. So just a quick reminder of that.
Yeah,
John,
yeah. And that's it for me. It looks like we have a little bit of low volume this morning, so I'm not really looking at a lot of stuff. I've had Walmart on my watch list for some time. And
another slow mover, at least for me.
yeah, it's really slow since earnings,
Mhm.
it's been a little not doing so well.
John requested Ulta, ULTA.
Oh, Ulta, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've traded Ulta, but haven't traded it in a long time. It looks pretty good. It's a pre-market, so you could see some activity here above 335. Just keep in mind though that it does run really heavy with a QQQ, with a NASDAQ. And so if we pull back on the NASDAQ, we'll see this also pull back. But the technicals look really good. I'll keep this on the watch list. And if we break below 330, I might be looking for some puts. But other than that, it looks like we can make a nice move here above 335. That's a good pick, John. Yeah, and I was also looking at some retail stuff like the Real. This is also a really cheap, a little, small little mover that goes under the radar. And, it's made a really nice recovery since we had this huge sell-off after earnings. And now we have some consolidation here. So I'll be looking for calls over 2070. And let's see, I believe Marana was talking about the MJ sector. MJ hasn't really done anything but just pull back and have all this choppiness here. I'm still watching it here over this level. Let's see the little movers that they have. They have Ogi. There's a nice little mover once it gets momentum. But it doesn't look like, we've had any movement. So I'll just keep this on watch. And then lastly, I'll be looking at eBay. And I like it over 65. Again, it looks like we gap down. So we could, keep selling off if we open lower than the pre-market low here under, I would say 64, just to stay within the whole number. Let's see, and Foot Locker. This is something I've been having my eye on. Another little mover, that people forget about. But it looks like we're selling off here. We might see a little reversal above 59. Wait, let me see. Sector XLY. Yeah, so XLY, I've been having my eye on the sector for quite some time. It's a consumer discretionary sector, and we've been in consolidation for weeks. So I'll be looking at this over 173.70. And
Hey Trader, I know a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Six Flags. And yesterday I saw it made a huge move. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, I saw it.
SIX.
XLI?
No, SIX.
Oh, SIX. Oh, 6. Yes. Yeah, it hit my alerts yesterday. But I missed it.
He
Yeah.
sold off. He hit a big resistance level and pulled back. But I mean, that's quite a big move for Six Flags.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Since we were opening, it sold off for like the longest time. And then now it's making a comeback. I like it. I've been looking at it to swing it because I believe they only have monthly contracts. So, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. I think we need to break what, maybe 45 or 44.68 to actually, get this moving. But it found support down here and our AMAs are crossing over. We just need a little bit more volume, and we got a lot of volume yesterday, which is really good. And this is a really good little mover that we can watch also. Six Flags, and then CNK, which is Cinemark. Is also something that goes under the radar, and it already consolidated. I think it's done. I definitely will be looking at this, possibly for a swing, but that's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot of stuff on my, on my watch list today. I don't want to go too heavy either, because of these feds. But I have been watching this stock in particular, Snow. Snow has been doing really well, and it's gotten like a lot of heavy flow within the past few weeks, but it is in the technology sector, I believe so. So techs might pull back today, but we'll see. I'll be watching it over 250. And then maybe, we'll take some calls up there. If not, we'll just have to grab some puts under 245. And then that's about it, guys. Oh, CELH. Let's see. Celsius Holdings. What kind of company is that? Actually, it does look good. If we have volume here above, I would say
I
68.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the contracts. I've never traded this one before, but I like
Yeah,
to
me
see a big
either.
reversal.
Yeah, maybe we could catch a little move here.
Mhm.
And that's about it. I'm a little tapped out with ideas. Anyone else have anything else to look at?
All right. I'll post my list on the watch list channel and a couple of levels there, but most of the levels already mentioned them here. So feel free in any of the chats, just feel free to post any charts that you're looking at and would like to get our input, or even just a confirmation of what you're already looking at. And we'll look to work together and find some plays. So thank you everyone for participating. Our live streams are getting bigger and bigger, and it makes me very, very happy. And so hopefully we can hit that limit of 100 participants. That'll be awesome. But yeah, just use this as an opportunity to kind of see how we're finding these trades, what we're looking at, and how we prepare for the day. We do this every day, and not just as in prepare for the day every day, but the live stream is every Tuesday. Also, just a reminder for those taking the class, we have a session tonight. We haven't, most likely the time will be around 7 Mountain Standard Time or 6:30. So we'll confirm the time and shortly, or today, later today. So just watch out for that. We're also working on the next course for next month and a couple of other things that we're working on. So please just stay tuned for more updates for our little trading group. All right, thank you. Trader, anything else before we wrap it up?
Nope, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And again, if you guys have any trading ideas, just post them in the chat. And we'll chart it together, and we'll see if we can trade that ticker. Other than that, have a good day, everybody.
All right. See you guys.